Hi, everybody. Welcome to Tuesday's Tips at 2. So I thought that was, how do you like that alliteration? So I thought not only would we know what day we were going to do tips and tricks, that we would also be able to remember what time it was. So 2 p.m. Central. So thanks for stopping by. And today I wanted to talk about some basic tools for paper crafting. So I often talk about, taking people on an arts and crafts journey, and whether you are new to crafting or, you are experienced, that we'll do some things step by step. But what if you are just getting started on your journey? And especially for paper crafting, what kinds of things do you need? What kinds of things are really essential to have? So 2 things. 1, what are we talking about for paper crafting? And 2, what are those essential tools? So again, this is my Artful Adventures, where I like to take you on, some adventures to have some relaxing time, kind of me time, stress-free, and we'll have some fun. So for paper crafting, that can be very many things. It could be anything from card making to scrapbooking. You might do some constructing of items with your paper, and that's where it kind of comes in to be important as to the different paper weights. And we're not going to get into that today. We'll do another segment on that. This is just really a basic, a basic talk on the essential tools, but that's what we're talking about for paper crafting. If you could make it out of paper, that's kind of what paper crafting is. So, and then what about essential tools? Well, I like to think of essential tools as if I am going to grab something and go somewhere and have a few things without spending a lot of time packing up everything, what are those things going to be? What are the bare necessities that I need to take with me to be able to make something? And those are the kinds of things that we're going to talk about today. So each one of these kinds of things, there are many, many products that are available. And I'm just going to show you, and I can't show you all of those things today because there are so many. I've been crafting for years and years and years. And so I have all kinds of different tools, different brands, all kinds of options. One thing I can say is that if I'm using it here, if you see me using it, you are going to know that it's something that works, because I don't like using the things that don't work. And if it is something new that I'm trying out, I'll let you know, and then we'll kind of see together whether it's easy to use or it's a no-go. So let's get started. I'm going to go ahead and change the camera view so we can see the desktop. Okay, so first of all, one of my big things is going to be a paper trimmer. Now, paper trimmers come in all kinds of brands. Fiskars, I like to call them Fiskars, but actually I think the real brand name is Fiskars. And I will say that I do like to have a paper cutter that the base is basically at least 6 inches wide, because it seems like we often are using something that is 6 inches. If you're using anything like a 12 by 12 paper, half of it is the 6 inches. So I like to be able to get all of that onto the whole platform here. And most of these, you want to make sure that you've got something that has, if it's only 6 inches or less, make sure that it's got an arm that extends out at least to 12 inches. Now this one, you can see this one goes out to 15 1/4. So then the next thing is a scoreboard. And let me tell you something else. You want to have a scoreboard, because if you are going to do any paper crafting, most likely you're going to be needing to do some folding. And you want to score your paper, because scoring your paper actually stretches those fibers in the paper, and it allows you to easily bend the paper without it, with reducing the potential for cracking. And that's a real thing. Paper can crack, and some paper is more prone to it than others. But I do want to point out that some of these kinds of cutting tools, you also can get a blade, or it's not a blade, I'm sorry. These things pop out to be replaced. Let me show you how they pop out. The blades can be replaced. You just pop them out of these little sections down here. Well, you can also get little scoring tools, and you can pop that in here and be able to score. So that's an option. Some of these platforms actually have both a scoring tool and the blade, and they have enough room on one or the other of the ends to where you bump your scoring tool out of the way, and it just stays there. And I know that Fiskars has one like that. I know that Stampin' Up has one. Some places it's easier to go in and pick something up or order it than another place. And maybe you're going to make your decision totally based on that. But some of the other things, there might be a groove, and you can actually put your stylus in through here and do your scoring here. Because as you can see, I don't know if you can see, you hold this up, it actually has a little groove right in through here. And so, you could actually do that. Some companies make something that is, actually both a scoring tool and a paper cutter. And our Memory Keepers make something. This is one of their versions of that. Let's see, this is backwards. Okay, so not only do you have your cutting system over here, but you've actually got your scoring board built right into this same board. And again, it opens up all the way. This is kind of a fun thing. It's called the Works, and it's got all kinds of things that it will actually do. It's got its little score tool right here and bone folder. A lot of times, these things do double duty. You can score as well as use the back of it to, burnish your crease and get a good crease once you score something. And so, this is another thing that you want to make sure you've got, is a bone folder for your scoring, or, for folding. And so, anyway, a lot of these things have, double duty. We Are Memory Keepers makes one of their boards to where it's about 6 inches wide or so, and it folds in half. And so that's a great thing, if you're looking for something that's not going to take up a lot of room. But so on my list, my top two things are a paper scorer and some kind of scoring tool, scoreboard score tool. And then you'll probably want to have some scissors. You might want to have a fairly decent size pair of scissors and some small scissors, because a lot of times you'll want to just snip things, and it's much easier to go around into small areas with some little small snips. Usually these kind of scissors are very, very sharp. In fact, these actually have a little cover that goes on them, and I keep my cover on mine because I have actually poked myself with the point of these. They are really sharp. And some people might say, well, I don't even need a paper trimmer because I just want to use a pair of scissors, and that's fine. If you're going to do that, you certainly want to have a ruler. And so, at that point, you would be using a ruler and drawing, where you're marking on your paper where you want to cut. And you could certainly, just use scissors. So nobody's going to make you have a paper trimmer. But I just like it. I just find that I'm not that great at cutting a very straight line. even with these scissors. These scissors have fairly long blades. I can't remember how long. I don't know how you measure scissors. I don't remember. I don't know if it's just the blade length, which this would make these probably about 5 inches for the blades. But these are Tim Holtz Tonic Studios. This is another Tim Holtz thing. This ruler is also from Tim Holtz. And the one thing I really do like about it is, for one thing, it's got a metal edge, and it's best if you have a ruler that does have a metal edge on one side. You'll find that comes in handy sometimes, especially if you want to, cut with it. Maybe you're going to use a craft knife or something, and it does keep you from cutting into your ruler. But the great thing about this one is you can see that it also, one side has a 0. So with the 0, you can actually center something. You can find where the center of something is. And so that's one of the reasons that I really like this one. Some of the next things that would be my most important things would be some kind of adhesive. And you probably want to have one kind of dry adhesive, which can be in a tape runner. This is double-sided tape that comes in these. And so I like to have a tape runner like this, and also then some wet glue. And when I have glue that is in a larger container like this, then I like to put it in something small. And I've got these tiny little bottles like this that I can put them in, and then I've got this teeny tiny little nozzle. And so if we're doing paper crafting, sometimes you don't want to get a whole lot of glue all over everything. But this is called Reptile glue. It's fantastic. Another great glue to have is called Art Glitter glue. There's no glitter in it. I don't know why it's named that. But it's Art Glitter glue. You might want to have some kind of a glue that is kind of a tacky glue, and it works a little bit differently. This type of, we just call it red liner tape. It's another double-sided tape, but it does have a liner on it. So as you adhere it to something, you pull it off, you stick it down on whatever, and then you've got to peel off this other kind of plastic feeling liner to it. But it is very, very sticky. So if you're needing something that you don't want to put a whole lot of glue on, and you need to make sure that it is going to adhere, this is great. This is great for paper constructing, to use for that. You might want to have some kind of a craft knife, depending on what you think you might be doing for any constructing. A craft knife can be good. This is a different kind of little knife. This is kind of handy. So you can, just get really close and in and have a lot more control of a blade with this. And like a little pokey tool. I love my pokey tools. This is just very, very sharp. You might need to poke a little hole in something to get something started, or to have a spot to place something like a brad or something. So I usually like to have my pokey tool on hand. So this kind of a ruler has a different shape to it. Can you see how it actually, let me see if I can get the end of it. See, it's a whole different shape. And so as you put it down, you've got a place to hold on and safely use your craft knife. Now, I honestly do not use a craft knife that often. And so that's one of the reasons that for me, the paper trimmer is what I go with. So, those are kind of the real essential tools for using in paper crafting. Those are what I consider my essential tools. So that's it for today. I know if you're getting started, you really want to know what are some of the things that you should look out for. And so in some future segments, we'll talk specifically about some of the options for these different kinds of things, whether it's, whether it's paper trimmers or scoreboards or glues, adhesives, some of the tapes. We'll talk about some of those, and we'll also have a segment also on different kinds of papers and the paper weights and what some of those are best for. So you can look forward to some segments like that coming up pretty soon. But otherwise, that's it for today. So go out and have your own artful adventures, and I'll see you back here. And remember, when you say my artful adventures, you're talking about yourself. So go have a great day and create something and share it with us. We'd love to see what you're interested in. Bye-bye, everybody.